Athletic dads, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a well-rounded full day of athletic expression. So we have some close grip snatch work to warm up for our actual snatches. Then we're gonna hit a heavy double from the block of a power snatch. Then we're gonna go heavy triples on the poles. We got a couple of fun jump variations programmed with each of those movements. And then we have core finisher and some isos to finish up. Reminder, the official Athletic Dad training program is down below in the link. It is for dads who are looking to reclaim their athleticism or dads who are already athletic and looking to push it to the next level and really become athletic weapons. So check that program out if you like any of the stuff that you see me doing. Check that out. I know you'll love the program. Appreciate you guys watching today. Let's get after it. Hey, if you're getting sick of your high knees, your butt kickers, your A skips, everything in warm up, and you want to spice it up a little bit and you got some space, I suggest throwing the headphones on or throwing something on the aux and then jogging around, moving, feeling the music, feeling the rhythm a little bit without a solid path. Just kind of make your way around diagonal, side to side. Go through some different ranges of motion, some different shuffles, some different skips, get on your hands and knees, get up on your shoulders, get into a handstand. 5-6 minutes of that, dude, listening to good music. As you're moving, you start to naturally kind of speed up. Feel pretty good, so I just finished that. Took me a second to catch my breath after that. Got a good playlist going, so that's probably why. But we have narrow grip, block snatches, so basically clean grip snatches until we can't. We're trying to hit that overhead position a bit, trying to open up there before we get into some block snatches. We'll work up to a heavy double there, and then we have some pulls, got some jumps and some other things for today. Really good movement, gonna force you to get fast up through the hip because those arms have to get out of the way with that barbell fast. Talked about it before, but when I'm warming up some of these Olympic movements, I try to get 1 or 2 cues that I really want to focus on for the day and think about as I'm going through the warm up. So right now I'm thinking full foot drive through the ground as I extend up through the hip. A lot of times I tend to kind of rock to the outside of my foot, so I lose all of that energy from pushing off the inside edge. So I'm thinking full foot as I accelerate through the ground, bar up overhead. Should be towards the end. All right, on those clean grip snatches, I wasn't able to make very good contact at all. So transition out of the snatch, haven't actually made contact. Probably gonna be a funny rep or two. But we're gonna go doubles here till we can't. Again, I'm still cueing myself with the same thing. That seems to be helpful for me. If you find something for you or for an athlete that helps, hang on to that cue until it doesn't. Push. There we go. All right, progressing these depth drop plus broad jumps. We have done, and I can't remember now where we're at, kind of in the video series, but a depth drop to a broad jump where the focus was higher box, land, spend as little time on the ground as possible, and then turn that basically vertical force into horizontal. So now I'm adding a horizontal jump to the depth drop, so a little shorter on the box. We're gonna try to jump out. I've got some weight back here, so the thing doesn't go flying underneath my feet. But as soon as I land, trying to be quick off the ground into another broad jump. We've got the pre-workout can over there as my measurement. Each rep I'm getting further. I think I'm just getting more comfortable jumping off the box. First time I didn't have any weight behind it. I thought, oh, this is a little sketchy. So I kind of just dropped off the box, but now I have a setup that feels pretty comfortable. Again, great to always say that, and then the thing goes slipping out from underneath this rep. I either hit it or it makes a blooper reel. Yeah. Yeah, I feel really good from the block. Starting just below the knee shortens that pull, obviously, so I'm able to get up into my hip easier and more efficiently. It feels super powerful. If I could only get that feeling 6 inches down or all the way down to the ground, you know how you do get that feeling is you train those positions more, something that I'll get to eventually. Got another double here, 205. This would be nice. Let's find that position again. I'm really digging these jumps. So the height of the box allows you to jump a little further on that first broad jump because you're coming from 12 inches higher, right? So you end up landing further out, and then you can carry that speed into the next jump. These feel really good. So delaying that landing in the air, hitting the ground, coming right back off the ground, getting past the pre-workout here. Ooh, not quite. I had a little bit of hesitation pushing off this thing because we got windows upstairs, second, third floor. And right before I went to jump, I saw like 5 people watching me. And I thought this would be the worst time for this box to slide out. So I pulled back. All right, don't do that again. We're right there. So there's a drill in Olympic weightlifting that you use for athletes who either jump really wide in their catch position, so that starfish position, or jump super far forward or super far backward when they're going overhead to catch the bar. It can be a clean or a snatch. So there's a drill that's called a no-foot snatch or no-foot clean. And the idea is as soon as you start pushing through your feet, you can't move your feet at all. So you're not allowed to jump out, front, back. And it's gonna constrain that athlete from being able to end up in that inefficient position when they catch. I tend to snatch better by doing the no feet. As soon as I started to get heavier, I start jumping those feet out. For me, there's like no middle ground. It's either don't move your feet at all or jump your feet way out. So I gotta think about that on this top double here. Try not to jump out real far. But then, because it's so technical, right? So many other things gotta go right. And that last one, I didn't feel my traps at all. I didn't feel that pull at all. So, gotta make sure as soon as I make contact to go into the traps before I get vertical here. Also, another technique for those athletes is you can just have them move their feet out. And a lot of times, because the pull position and the catch position are different, so you're gonna pull from your, what we call pull stance, and then you're catching your squat stance. So you can just have that athlete widen the feet out. Sometimes that'll take away those slight little jumps they do to the side. So that's what I'm trying to do this time. Now I've talked so much, it's no longer a double, it's a 1 + 1. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go into some pulls. All right, so it's gonna be the same height, adding a decent amount of weight here, and then we're just gonna finish that last pull, trying to make contact with the hip, and then I want to do everything, sequence everything as if I'm gonna snatch the bar overhead, but just finishing as I shrug at the shoulders. So everything should look the same. These are great to have in programs, both Olympic weightlifting programs and like power, force, strength programs. Problem is a lot of people underweight these. These should be overloaded, way heavier than what you could do from that, what Olympic variation you could do from that position. So it should be, if it's a clean grip, it should be way heavier than you can clean. If it's a snatch grip, it should be way heavier than you can snatch, because that bar should move slow because it's so heavy. And it shouldn't be so light that if you were to then turn that into a snatch or a clean, that you could make that happen. So overload your pulls. All right, then to just get into this lower knee bend, this deeper knee flex position, we're gonna do seated box jumps. I don't program any deload weeks. I never have for myself, and I never have for athletes. Progress in the gym comes down to consistency. So I've never understood why people would take the opportunity to break that consistency, whether it be in frequency, like how many times you train during the week, or whether that be in output. Going into a week and thinking, okay, today I'm gonna go 50%. Today I'm gonna have 3 sets of 5 at a 5 RPE, or with 5 reps in reserve. Progress is only gonna be made through intentional consistency. And you never know when, during either a program, a training cycle, or just in your journey, your fitness journey, you never know when you're gonna catch a wave that you make progress faster than you've made it before, or faster than you've made it in the recent couple years. When I've had those big blocks of time where, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, where just things are clicking and things are rolling, I never think about taking a week to deload because I'm on a heater. I think if you keep breaking that up, you never allow yourself to get going, you never allow yourself to get consistent, you never allow the ball to get rolling in the direction where you want it to go, because each time you tell yourself every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, you tell yourself a deload week, and then that turns into 2 deload weeks, or that turns into 2 deload weeks, and then a week where it takes a while to feel more like yourself. So it's now almost like a month that you've deloaded. And also, schedules naturally implement deload weeks. I think there's something like 10 or 12 holidays during the week, and only a couple of them on the weekends. Most people on a consistent training schedule are training multiple times during that week. So if you have a holiday, it's usually the day before you might not go in, or the evening before you might not go in, and then the day of you might not go, and then the day after you might not go, and then that's a whole nother 3 days of doing nothing. And that might be stacked on top of a deload week that you had, and then a week that you were sick before that, and a week that you traveled before that. So all of a sudden, you've taken a month off of training and lost all of your consistency and all of your momentum. Unless you're 1% of the 1%, I don't see any reason why you should be deloading. If you are a professional athlete, there's another conversation to have there, because ultimately the sport will prioritize itself over the weight room anyway in season. So those are gonna be less volume, less frequency, gonna allow more time for recovery. But dads out there, don't worry about taking deload weeks. All right, little core circuit here to finish up. This one's good. So we're gonna go what I would refer to as a top foot elevated Copenhagen side plank hip dip iso hold, right, is how I would kind of put all that together. So our side plank here, right? So foot's up, other leg's down, and instead of pulling yourself up into that side plank, you're gonna dip down and hold this. I like going 45 seconds, 60 seconds. Sometimes I'll just max these out a couple minutes. Man, these are brutal. So we got 2 sets, 60 seconds on here. Dumbbell weighted sit-ups. So if you've got one of those decline benches, those are the best to do these on. But I'm just hooking my feet up underneath the dumbbell rack here and then putting a dumbbell up on my collarbone. You'll see people kind of put it down by their waist. That's not doing much for us. We're just trying to add resistance here as we crunch. So I'm gonna have this up in my neck, reaching back, and then I even like kind of reach in the middle of my chest to the ceiling so I get some extension in my back, and then as I roll up, I'm kind of crunching everything. 1 vertebrae at a time, and then I feel it going back the other way as well. Yeah. I would usually lay this on my chest, but I got the mic on there, so I'm trying to get it as close to me as I can without putting it on the mic. All right, then a little calf overcoming iso. Bar's gonna go on the back. Toe up on the plate. Push it up into the rack. Trying to push that hard as I can, 10 to 15 seconds. So we just got 3 times through that circuit, going 60 seconds, each leg here, going 15, and then building up the weight on the dumbbell for the sit-up, and then going to 10, 15 seconds on the calf overcoming iso. Athletic Dads, that's a day. The official Athletic Dad training program is gonna be down in the comments. This is all the content that I've been posting recently, and this program will allow you, wherever you're at as a father, if you're super active and training push-pull legs, bodybuilder type or aesthetics type, this program would be awesome for you to be able to get back your ability to jump and sprint and be athletic and express athleticism. If you were a former high school or college athlete and haven't trained in a long time, this is gonna allow you again to tap into some of those athletic qualities and build those back up. Because dads, we want to be able to run and jump and chase and wrestle our kids. That's what this program is meant to do. So check it out in the link below. I know you're going to love it. Continue to practice gratitude. Tell the people you love that you love them, and live your life stimulated. See you guys on the next one.